When you're thinking about selling your home, these are 4 critical facts you need to know before you list. Number 1, the first thing you need to do is price the house correctly. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that just because the market's hot, they could overprice the home and it'll sell anyway, and that's just simply not true. Think about something for a minute. Why in a car dealership do they always advertise an attractive lease payment on TV, and then you get into the dealership and what the number they give you is not what you saw on TV? Think about this with me, all right? First, you get into the dealership. They advertise a nice payment and you're like, oh, I can afford that. You go there, you test drive the car, you like it, and now all of a sudden you want to talk numbers. Well, it's done that way for a reason, because it grabbed your attention and brought you into the dealership. The same principle applies in real estate. You need to bring attention to the house. By making your price look attractive, you will bring a whole bunch of buyers to come check out your property and they will bid over it. Think about when you search for a property online. If you look on Zillow or on Realtor.com, there's an ocean of all these dots popping up in an area and all these houses are for sale. You gotta make yours stand out. If you get 30 or 40 people to come to your house and 20% of those people want it, now you have a whole bunch of people making offers on the property and you're in a bidding war. This is a great position to be in as a seller. Number 2, the realtor you hire can make or break the sale. The realtor's job is to grab attention, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, how many people do you know that have a real estate license? A lot of people tend to have their real estate license, and that's typically because the requirements to get a license are pretty easy. So how do you know if you're finding an extraordinary realtor? Well, really simple. If the realtor's job is to create attention for your listing, then you want to find a person who's really good at creating attention for themselves. If they're bringing in a lot of business and creating a lot of attention for their business, then chances are they'll be able to create that same attention for your property. The goal is to have as many people come to your house as possible. How do you know you can find a top producing realtor? Just look around. They should have their signs on every lawn in town. They have a sales history online. And as long as you find someone who advertises themselves well and does a good job of getting your attention, chances are they're going to do a great job of selling your house. Number 3, critical fact to know before selling your home. The road to life is filled with potholes and speed bumps, and so is a real estate transaction. Lucky for you, you hired an extraordinary realtor who's going to get you through all of it. But hear me out, okay? There's a lot of things that can occur in a real estate transaction because there's so many moving parts and so many people involved. You have a lawyer, a mortgage broker, a title company, insurance company, and that's all on one side of the transaction. Then you have a whole other set of people on the other side of the transaction. So there's a lot of moving parts. There can be issues that come up that you just cannot anticipate. If one was to write a book about all the problems that can occur while under contract in a real estate transaction, it would be as big as the Encyclopedia Britannica with multiple volumes and issues, okay? The reality is here, you have to trust your real estate professional to minimize as many potholes and risks that can come up in the transaction as possible. So trust your realtor and lean into their expertise. Besides, you hired the right person from the beginning. Number 4, it's impossible to underprice your home. One of the most common questions a seller asks their realtor is, if I get an offer I don't want, do I have to accept it? And the simple answer is no. You don't have to accept any offer you don't want. Let's understand a little bit why you can't underprice the home. Take a look at eBay. It's a great example. If you ever go shopping on eBay, you find sometimes you can get like an iPhone or an Android phone and you see it's listed for $1 with 1 week left to sell it. Well, if you track that sale, I promise you that when it gets down to the last hours and it's about to end, you're gonna watch that number go up and up and up and up, and it'll sell to its market value. It does that every time. And the same thing happens with real estate. When you price your house to look attractive, people will come because they think they're getting a good deal on the property. But the reality is you have one property to sell and 10 or 20 people who want it. So the basic laws of supply and demand say one item, high demand, price goes up. And you've seen that happen more than ever in 2021 with inventory shortages and shortages in every industry. All the prices have been rising, and it's exactly the example that I'm explaining here in real estate. Here's what you should do. The market's giving you feedback with every offer that comes in. So take a look at all of the prices that come, all of the down payments, and all of the terms, and make a decision based on who's got the best of all 3. Follow these 4 pieces of advice and your home sale will be as smooth as possible.